we mentioned, I've been pretty crazy busy, not just with the flying. My week this week had some in-laws stay with us. So we had a house with some fully vaccinated 80-year-olds. And we had a pretty good family gathering. It was pretty important that we get the aunts together. So I ended up, like I mentioned in the last show, I got my first shot. Listen to a podcast about this, about the vaccine, about, COVID, what's going on in our country and around the world, both politically and socioeconomically in relation to this pandemic. And I heard something that kind of sparked a change in my behavior. That's right. Definition of learning, right? Change in behavior as a result of experience. I guess it's a faux pas to ask someone, "Hey, did you get your shot? Did you get your shot? Did you get your shot yet? Are you gonna get the shot?" Because we've been talking about it because it's something that is a pretty hot topic, especially on the flight deck with flight crews, and we're look at our job. We're a public transportation industry. We are essential workers. You may not be as high tier as all the medical professionals out there doing their part, but we're definitely in the public eye in transportation. And I hey, what's going on? How are you? As part of my pre-flight questions, how did you commute in? All this kind of stuff. Hey, so are you gonna get the shot? We were talking about last episode getting paid to get the shot. And then in this podcast that I listened to, they said, yeah, that's none of your damn business. It's HIPAA. Do you ask people if they got the flu shot? Well, I guess you do. But do you ask people if, they got their Viagra medication? No, of course not, Yeah. So
it's funny because it almost turns into almost like a political conversation when you ask anybody about if you got your flu shot. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, I just curious,
Trying to spark conversation here. So it's up to the individual whether or not that is going to be disclosed. But I'm altering the way I look at it. I'm no longer putting that on the list of topics of discussion. It's kind of like the three things you don't talk about in the flight deck: guns, religion, and politics. I'm going to add to that vaccinations. Sterilizations. We don't talk about that. What are your thoughts on that? Do you guys think that that's a valid thing to ask that, or do you think it's personal and should not be part of the narrative?
Well,
What do you think, Kyle?
It kind of depends on the individual because pilots, if they can get paid to go do something, they'll do it. And I think the only reason the legacy company put that into an agreement with the union was more of a marketing gimmick. I think once everybody gets it after a certain point, they're like, we're going to pay these guys to go get a shot. And then we're going to come back on the backside of this and say, everybody's been vaccinated. We're safe for this, for that. But on the flip side, I don't care if you get a shot, you don't get a shot, as long as you're clean, you wash your hands, you don't come to work sick, you're a responsible adult. Which this past year, it's been disgusting to watch all these adults and people that have not been doing it all of a sudden starting to do it, which, that's what they teach in elementary school. So it's just kind of been surprising that we're having to go back to the basics. And, I know this is a little bit more complex with the COVID, but, that's what it kind of comes down to. Your own personal opinion, just do what you need to do, and don't use your sick time as vacation time. That's what has gotten a lot of people in trouble over the years.
It's funny. I started this podcast back in October of 2019, and this was a topic. Oh man, back in November, I think. and it's
I think that's when it
hilarious.
first started.
Yeah, we were talking about wash your damn hands, or all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we were so ahead of the game back then. But yeah, it's definitely been a topic that is something on my mind because I use so many public restrooms, in the airport, and I see what people do, and it's like, come on, dude, wash your freaking hands before. Come on, that's gross. I'm not gonna shake your hand. So yeah, how many flus? How many people caught the normal flu this year? Like 2, finally. But people forget,
amazing.
and they get
cured
lazy.
that one though.
No, we're going back in time, sure.
Yeah.
I'm
sure the stats going to be all skewed now with normal flu and how many people got the flu, and because that's prior to the COVID, that was the big the metric on who how big's this flu season going to be, and everybody get your shot.
Right.